Okay, here comes the easy part. We've cut the grooves in the metal to weaken it, and basically just put it in the vise and pull on it, and it will pull down. Wait a second. Oh yeah, right. We go like this. I actually ended up cutting the wrong side, so luckily I had a few inches of extra material that I was able to fake it back into existence. You can see the metal just bends so nicely, like it was meant to do that. And this one will bend that way. There we go. And we can come back later and make sure we got 90s on everything. But for now, this one's a little tougher. We're going to have to get a person to help us out. Now you hear that little high-pitched shrill in the background. No, that's not Patty. It's this little bird comes in every morning and he sings. And sometimes he'll come in when the lathe is running and he'll sing at he'll land like, 2 feet from me on a wire just above my head, and he'll sing with the lathe. So, somehow he thinks the lathe is another bird or something. I'm not sure. And this one's a little tougher. I must not have cut it far enough. But it's going. It's submitting to my wants. Not that easily, though. All right, let's do it this way. If you don't succeed, get a bigger hammer. That's my motto. And since this is a bracket inside of the whole process, we don't have to worry too much about making dents or anything like that. Yeah, I think that did the trick. Oh, let's do this. Let's bring this back up. Okay, you look at it, pretty much the same bracket. I got to cut this end off, but that comes a little bit later. Well, actually, we're going to go do it right now. Okay, step 92 in this process is these little vent holes, which I couldn't understand at first, but I finally got it. There's a monitor is going to go in there, and there just needs to be a little air movement. So they want us to cut a 2-inch hole, and I talked to the engineer, and he says, well, you could just cut some louvers in there, and that would be just fine. So we're going to cut some 2-inch louvers. In fact, we've already done it on one of them. And right here are the louvers, and I don't know if you can see it from here, but they're cut at just a bit of an angle, so that if water does hit this, it will run off instead of in. So we've got 2 of them to cut, and actually it took me almost all morning to cut those 2 louvers. But now I kind of got a little rhythm going, and I know what speeds to go and all that stuff. I think this next batch is going to be a little faster. So we're going to cut the louvers. We've got well, the plate isn't in place yet. The mill head is at a 30-degree angle. We've got some shims up here, and since this isn't real accurate cutting, I get to use a couple of pieces of wood, which works just fine. And we'll put a piece of metal up here and get started.
It's going.
Well, you can see I'm just kind of moving back and forth to create this little louver. This is very tedious. It took almost an hour this morning to do one of these slots. I think I'm a little faster now, but who knows? Who knows for sure? Because I can cut like 10 thousandths at a time, and that's it. Otherwise it just starts to put a lot of stress on the tool bit. But it's cutting smoothly here, and at some point or another it's going to be done. And I go back and forth from 0, right here, up there. Take 0, and then I go down about 10 thousandths, and then crank it across the table until I hit to 1827. Where I got those numbers, I don't know. But they're there, staring me right in the face. Okay, the louvers are complete, all 4 of them. It took, most of the day, but, it's part of the process. Now it's time to come back in and kind of clean up all of this rough edge stuff so nobody cuts themselves. And basically we're going to come in with a die grinder and just kiss those edges a little bit until everything gets cleaned up. Okay, so this is what the sign's going to look like. And this upper part is what I'm working on right now. Cutting the louvers, cutting the holes. All of the last couple of days has been around the upper sign. And basically, here we go. And we've got everything cut. And now we're just going to come back and see the sign. God, we're going to have to come way back because it is gigantic. It's 45 inches wide and 30 inches tall. So that's a substantial amount of stainless steel. So far, we're looking probably at 300 pounds of metal, just sitting right there, just what you see, and we haven't added anything else to it. But so far, it looks pretty good. You can see at the far end there, the hole is going to be where the electricity goes through and up over to the pole and then up into the wall. And the louvers. And we've got a couple of cuts to make before we can actually start to tack it together. But it's looking pretty good. Trying numerous times to get all of these sides to fit together. I finally came upon a solution, and I just basically trimmed 3/8 of an inch off of the end of these end pieces here, which brings the hole down 3/8, but it's not that big a deal. And I was able to get the box to match or to line up and be the correct measurements from there to there and from there to there. Which is critical because we have a piece of glass going on the top of this, and the glass is already cut. So that was pretty exciting. And then all the corners went together, and everything's fairly well tacked together at this point. I've still got a little bit to do right in here. You can kind of see there's a pretty good gap in there, but basically just put a couple of clamps on this and pull it in and get it tightened up, and we're ready to actually weld the thing together, which takes us to that next critical step of making this box. At this point, it probably weighs 150 pounds, and we're going to start having to crane it up with the little handy dandy hoist that I've hooked up there in order to turn it around and get it to move. So it did. Pretty exciting. It went together better than I thought, and we're moving forward. Okay, so we've got the box tacked together, It's not welded yet because I haven't gotten the glass. I just want to do a final and make sure that glass is going to be right, because I can't change the glass. I can change all of these measurements. You know, it'll be a battle, but I can certainly change them by trimming a little bit off of one edge, breaking the tacks, moving things around a little bit. But the glass I can't change. So the glass is supposed to show up today. Then we'll take some measurements and make sure this whole thing's going to work out. But in the meantime, what I'm doing right now is going ahead, and there's a angle iron support bracket that goes underneath that. And here's the first of that series right here. And it actually goes down, about 1.5 inches or so. But for right now, we're just trying to get lengths and widths set up. You can, so basically, we're going to cut them to length, put them up in the mill, and really miter these corners nice and carefully, because this is going to show. They're gonna, the inspector is going to open that door and go, hey, what does this look like? And this one's we've got to have it looking okay. So we're going to go ahead and jump up on the bridgeport. Okay, so we had this thing, the head tweaked this way, and everything was all kind of messed up there to do that other part of the project. And so we had to come back in and retram the head and get everything all squared back up again. And got the vise squared up, and then I rotated it to 45 degrees. And now I'm mitering each one of these corners at 45 degrees. And also at the same time kind of sneaking up on it, because I've got measurements, but you know, it's always, for me, it's always better to actually see it fit rather than take a measurement, because inevitably I'll miss by a little bit, and then it'll look like, you know, big doo-doo. So we're just kind of moving in close slowly here, taking off a little bit of metal, also squaring that corner up. You can hear it hit and miss. You know, the little power hacksaw that I got over there, it's 20 years old. It might even be older than that. I mean, it's still accurate in its own way, but it can't quite possibly, it was never as accurate enough to do a real tight miter. So we've got it mitered in now, and pretty clean. So we'll take it over and test it out. Well, it was probably about 1/8 of an inch too long, but as I said, we're going to sneak up on this because I don't want it to be too short. A little bit here, a little bit there. Takes a little extra time, but hey, better than going back and having to go back to Sacramento and get another piece of metal, because that's the only place I can find this stuff. And for those of you who don't know, Sacramento is about 60 miles from here, and I like it just to be about that far away. A little bit of a hassle to get to, but I don't have to deal with Sacramento. All right, so we took two probably 5/1000 cuts. Let's see what it looks like. It's probably going to take another 1/16 or so, but we're going to check it out, make sure. Yep, another 1/16. Started raining this morning, which was really sweet. Heck, it's the middle of May right now, and we get these little rainstorms, and it's very unlike Nevada County. Usually it goes from winter to summer with a little bit of spring, but not much. And we've gotten these little rainstorms about every week or so, which has been in some ways really good, and in other ways not so good, because of course the fire season, all the grasses grow much higher because there's a lot more rain, and when fire season comes along, it becomes a bit more dangerous. Let's give it one more check. All right, I'm about halfway there. One more little mini cut, and I'm guessing we're right on the money. Okay, a little bit more. I like a little bit more rather than a little less. No question about that. We're taking about 5 thousandths per cut, so it's going real slow here. And as I said, I don't mind taking the extra time. Oh, look. One more little nib and we're there. This is going to do it. I know it is. I just have a feel about it. Famous last words. Yes. Okay, we got that one. We've got one more to do for that particular box. The other box, I'm going to move this over. Alright, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it looks like I've got just a bit of a bow in this metal right here, right on the top, right on the facing edge, where whenever anybody opens the door, actually even without opening the door, when the glass is in place, this is a facing edge here, and it's all going to be rounded off and nice and neat. But this little bit of a bow here is going to always be visible. and at about, this thing sits at about 7 feet, so it's going to be almost at eye level. And I think I got to get that out. Now the very upper one, I don't think I have to worry about too much if there's some bows in there I haven't checked. But we're going to get that out. I think, and of course I don't have all of the real cool equipment to pull heavy metal out, but you know, we can do a fake it approach here. I think the automotive industry has, you know, these pullers and pushers and all of that. And, you know, I don't use it that often, so why do it? So what we have to do is get these two here in place. I think I might be able to just squeeze them. Yeah, look at that. Okay. So where are we? Yeah, we got a bow right up there. Bring a, looks like I'm going to have to come a little bit closer. Bring a bar in. Strong enough bar, and then you can see this 1/4 inch wall. I think it's going to do fine. Tighten my C-clamp up. Oh, is it going to make it? Yeah, it'll make it. Yeah, there we go. Now, just sight this thing, or sighting it is probably going to be a little harder than, let's get these things off of here. Maybe, can you see down that line there? We're going to move this camera just a little bit closer. Get down right where it's, and I'm not sure you can see it, but somewhere down in there. It looks like it's straightened it out, but I know that it's just straightened it out because there's a little pressure on it. So I'm going to take it just a little further and just kind of torque it just a little bit. And we're going to see. Now everything's going to drop and make a bunch of noise, so be prepared for that. Let me get a rag so we can drop it on it. Yeah, it's still got a bow right in here. So we got to get a little bit more aggressive with it. I can do that. Let's see what that bow looks like. Yeah, it's right there. There we go. Come on. Now, you know, of course, the cool thing about all the fancy equipment is you don't have to fight it like this. You just throw it on there and go, and push a little button, and it pretty much takes care of what needs to be taken care of. All right, so, but here I am. All right, now I tweaked it pretty heavy there. Let's see what that comes out. Well, it looks like the wind came up. A little bit better. Because that big door just closed. And of course, you don't want to go too far because then you got to pull it back the other way. Oh, that looks a lot better. Lot better. We might have just a little bit out at the end here. Always about right around the end. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, we brought you around the other side, and you can kind of see right here there's still just a little bit of a bow. So instead of using the old round dabbing block, which pretty much catches it right at that bow, I'm going to come in with a fairly small, it's a big tool bit, but it's fairly small piece of metal. And we're going to do the same thing. Get this thing kind of buttoned up. A little bit more. Now what I need is one more pair of hands. I mean, I can do it, you know, hey. But where's Patty when I need her? Still asleep, I think. Alright, there we go. Come on. Don't drop on me. There we go. Alright, what's that look like? Looking a little bit better, but of course, you know, same problem. I could leave it there, but as soon as I take the pressure off, it's going to tweak back out. Well, that didn't work. So we got to come back in. And do this. Get a little bit more of a grip going. There we go. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Still there. Let's spot it and see where it's going to be here. Right about there. I think I'll get rid of the other dabbing block just to keep things on the up and up. Oh shoot. As far as that thing to go in. All right, we got to find something thicker. All right, let's give it another try. We set up a little bit thicker tool bits. Now we'll crank that baby in. Oops. Let's see what we've got here. I'd say a little bit more. Okay. What's that look like? Dang, still there. Yep, it's still there, all right. Okay, we've got most of it out. I'm looking at it, and from here on, it looks like it's pretty well set. Just this last few inches right here, and it looks to me like right there in the center of that, there's a little glitch. And I'm noticing that here's a place where the shear skipped. And so it could possibly have created some kind of little tweak right there. So, and I put the piece of angle iron in here to get a straight line. And it looks pretty good, except for that one last little corner out there. So we'll go ahead and fight that again, see if we can get that out of there. And maybe what we'll do is go ahead and put a block back in place here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, I was going to say, oh, hey, we got everything all set. This is going to be a no-brainer. That's still going to be a no-brainer. Okay. Right here on this little pointy thing. There we go. Ah! So now I'm at the point to where, okay, maybe I'll go buy one of those little fancy bender thingies. But no, not Nick. Okay, there we go. All right, how are we doing? Just a little bit of a bend there. So we're going to just tweak that in and see if we can get it. One more little bend. All right. Oh, much better. Yep, that's good. That's good. Now, there's a little bit out here. I think we'll be able to pull some of that in once we weld the little piece of angle iron to it. Maybe we'll grab it with some clamps, pull it in, weld the angle iron, and that'll kind of lock it in a little tighter. But we're close, and that's all that counts. Yeah, that looks great.